In the one kneeling or half kneeling position, I'm going to start to try and bind up a little bit of tension through the outside of my hip. So I'm going to go through the same characteristics of foot flat on the floor, a little bit of pressure through the pad of my big toe, making sure my knee's not caving in. So I keep my knee, if anything, maybe slightly out, right? And I make sure that my back isn't falling into this arch, but I have a little bit of tension here, okay? So my back is pretty flat. Now I'm going to come in forward to a little bit of a stretch in the front of my back hip. And from here, I want to see if I can start to take this hand and come across. Everything from my waistline down doesn't move. And I'm just going to start to turn to look towards this bent knee. And I may feel this in the front of the hip on the other side. I may feel this start to pull a little bit through here, which is okay. And then I'll rotate back out of it. I just want to make sure as I turn, right, that same thing, set up my foot, set up my knee, set up my back. I get a little bit of tension here. As I turn, I don't want my knee to move, right? So I want to make sure everything here stays pretty stationary as I kind of use this hand as a block and I turn to go into some rotation. This lead hand, I can put it on my hip and pull my elbow back, or I can take this hand out and kind of reach behind me. Sometimes I say put the pressure of your palm on the back of your hip and kind of pinch your elbow to facilitate some of that rotation. Also, pressing my back shin into the ground kind of helps me so that my whole pelvis doesn't want to rotate. So I would just come into this rotation, pause for 3 to 5 seconds, and then come back out of it, and then relax the stretch on my hip. So make sure my foot and knee are in a good line. Come forward with a little bit of tension to feel a slight pull in the front of this hip. My hand comes across, goes to the outside of this leg. My left hand is going to the back of my left hip, and I'm facilitating a little bit of rotation into this side, and then coming back out of it. If I wanted to go a little deeper, I could go from hand to coming down more into elbow. Watch, because this knee is going to want to cave in, so I still want to keep my knee pressing out against my elbow, and this facilitates a little bit more rotation, coming to look and using my back elbow to pull myself into that twist. So you may feel this in your mid-back, you may feel this in the side of your hip, just facilitating more rotation, making sure that I'm really actively taking that front knee and pressing against my elbow, because I'm using that as an anchor and I don't want my knee just to cave in.